Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as Scraps. Today I will be teaching you this X2 synth. It's very interesting, and we use a pulsar to operate some of the frequencies for filter A, and then we distort it a bit with two screen 4s back to back, removing some of the frequencies and then just mastering it. So here's the demo example. It shows off quite a bit of the features, and I'll show you how to make it. And that's X2 for you. So I'm going to create a new Reason document. One of the things I love to do is I like to keep everything nice and tidy. One of the ways to do this is with a combinator. There are 3 different ways to get to the combinator. You can hold down Control and left click to get the creative menu. This is where you can find your instruments, your creative effects, studio effects, and random utilities. After this, another way to do that is by right-clicking, or what you can do is you can hit F8 to bring up the tool window. Go to Utilities and drag out a combinator. So inside this combinator, we're going to create a blank instance of Maelstrom. I'm going to attack the mod wheel section first. Then I'm going to go to my mod A, then to our oscillators, the routings, and then just messing with filter A and the shaper. So what I'm going to do for my first mod wheel technique is I'm going to take my index to 25. If you can't get those finite numbers, just hold down Shift while left clicking. Another one we want to modify on our mod wheel is turning the shift all the way up. Next, we're going to, instead of a sine wave for our mod A, I'm going to change this to a rising curve. That's curve 10. I'm going to put it on sync, and for now I'm just going to set the rate to be 4/4. We're going to set the shift to 12. And for my oscillators now, I'm going to route it to shaper A and make sure it's on. And for the wave, I'm going to set it to a sawtooth 4. I want to take the motion all the way down to negative 32. Let's make it negative 33. Let me make sure that we're getting, oh, nope, negative 28, my bad. Okay, we're going to do that for our second oscillator as well. Negative 28. Make sure it's on, and we're going to set this to, let's see, let's set this to a sawtooth 16. But the last thing I want to do for my oscillator A is take it down an octave. Next, for my oscillator B, I'm going to take it down 2 octaves. And I'm going to turn up the shift all the way. and this doesn't route to filter B. So for my shaper A, for my oscillator A routing the shaper, I'm going to set my shaper amount to 98, and I'm going to set it to quad. After this, I'm going to set my filter A all the way down to 18 Hertz, or 18, and I'm going to set it to a comb positive and turn on keyboard. Make sure filter B is not on, and that should do it for the synth. Yep, so we're in the right ballpark. After this, we're going to go to our utilities and create a pulsar. I'm going to hit tab to flip it over. Now this is a rack extension. I'm going to take my filter from my maelstrom and plug it to the output of LFO1. And I'm going to do this with my level as well. I'm going to hit tab to flip it over again. And I'm going to hit show programmer. I'm going to choose my I'm going to choose my pulsar 1. I'm going to set the rotary 1 to control LFO1 rate synced. I'm going to choose rotary 2 to be LFO2 rate free. I'm going to set my button 1 to turn on sync. So let's see, LFO2 enabled. We're going to turn on sync, and for the amount for LFO2 to be routed to LFO1, we want this to be negative 66%. Make sure to turn on envelope sync and change this to a, let's see, it's like a staircase. Yeah, 4 steps up and down. And for our LFO2, we're going to leave it right there, and we're going to turn up the level all the way. So now, what we have for our, actually we need button 2 to be where we want LFO2 to be enabled. Okay, so I'm going to call for my rotary 1, speed, and for my rotary 2, X2 rate. And button 2 will be X2 on. Okay, let me just make sure. Yep, okay. So now that we have it programmed, what we need to do now is just master it and give it some distortion. So after pulsar, I'm going to go to my studio effects and create an RV7000 advanced reverb. I'm going to take the dry wet and the decay, the dry wet to 22 and the decay to about 34. After this, I'm going to go to my studio effects and create a line 6 bass amp, turn on compressor, bring the threshold to about 73. That's good where it is. After this, we're going to go to our creative effects and choose Scream 4 distortion. So my first Scream 4 distortion is going to be warp. And for the damage control, let's take that all the way down to about 36. Turn P1 up all the way. And P2, bring that about 87. After this, we're going to create another Scream 4 distortion. Give it more emphasis. We're going to turn it to tape. We're going to take the damage control all the way to 52. We're going to turn P1 all the way up, and P2, we're going to bring that to 44. After this, we want to take out some of the frequencies, so I'm going to create 3 equalizers found in Studio Effects, M-class equalizers. I'm going to turn on low cut, P1 and P2, and I want to do this for all 3 of the equalizers. So my first EQ, I'm going to set my first frequency to 4,646 kilohertz, gain down to all the way up. We're just removing frequencies that we do not want in our mix. The next one I'm going to set to 6,480. or 840 kilohertz, gain down and Q all the way up. For my second EQ, I'm going to take my first P1 on my second EQ to 2.585 Hertz, gain down, Q all the way up. For the second frequency I'm going to remove on our second EQ is I'm going to set my P2 to 447 Hertz, gain down, and Q all the way up. And last, just to remove some of the weird frequencies on the lower forms, I'm going to set my first P1 to 154 Hertz, gain down, Q all the way up. I'm going to set my second frequency to 114 Hertz. I'm going to turn the gain all the way down and the Q all the way up. After this, I'm going to go to my Studio Effects and create an M-Class Maximizer. I'm going to take off Limiter, set Release to Auto, turn on Soft Clip, and for the amount, I want to set this to 127. And there you guys have it, your very own X2 synth. Enjoy!